intro music. Got anything?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, keep going.
Intro music. That's what I got.
That's beautiful. I think that's our best one yet.
It's a little rough there.
I like the operatic.
I like
that's
it.
really nice.
Yeah. It's like
That maybe went a little off the rail. We'll find out what that sounds like. I quite like it. I think it's really good.
I like it.
Try to lower my.
You get the next one.
Hmm?
You get the next one. You
I
have
get
to,
the.
yeah, you have to sing the next one.
No pressure. I'm not that musically inclined though. Like, give me a French horn and I'm
All there.
a happy girl.
You know what? I can bring you that conch horn that I got, and we can just conch horn it the intro in.
I'll conch horn
Yeah.
the shit out of it.
Yeah, I almost got it the other day.
Oh, you
Remember when we tried to do that didgeridoo?
I do remember the
And all I could do
didgeridoo
was-
shenanigans. That was so fun. That was hysterically funny.
I am not a wind instrument person.
I think you're a wind instrument person. You're not a buzzed wind instrument
I'm not
person.
a buzzed wind
I feel like
instrument.
if you a clarinet or a flute, you'd probably figure it out. But
Probably.
the buzzing is, it's a skill.
It is.
Yeah, the buzz is a
is.
skill.
It makes my face feel funny.
As it should.
Yeah.
It's working a lot of muscles in your face. You got to get the dimples. Like I
Right.
still remember Mrs. Googled in 5th grade teaching us how to do the buzz and the proper embouchure and the dimples and holding your mouth in a particular. That's it. You got it right there. You haven't even seen it. You're doing it.
Just pull it in until you look as stupid as possible.
Legit. Yeah, it's a wonder we get 5th graders to join the band. Honestly, it's very impressive.
Yeah.
Band
I
is
see that.
awesome. Please join it.
Yeah.
Also,
Instruments are awesome.
Embrace
learning music.
the silliness that it is because you look ridiculous doing it. But it's
The best things in life
lot of
make you
fun.
look the stupidest.
all of them.
All of them.
All of them. So, do you remember our shadow puppet
Yes.
evening? That was
We
insanely
were out on
fun.
the beach. We had a hotel behind us with these big old spotlights, and they were coming onto, like behind us and onto the beach in front of the waves. And we started doing these shadow puppets, and we got you to look like a turkey and a crab.
And
then
we were like shadow chasing each other.
Shadow chasing each other.
And really what we were trying to do was take a picture of Venus.
Which we got.
We got a lot of great pictures
But we
of
also
Venus
got
with
one
a
of
lot
you
of
looking like a turkey.
a lot of silly
and then-
shadows.
or maybe taking a shit on the beach.
It did kind
Just
of
a
look like
little
I was
bit.
shitting on the
Just-
beach. I think what we were
full
trying to
squat.
do with the full squat was we noticed in one of the pictures that my butt cheeks were very well outlined in the
your
shadow.
butt cheeks were banging. They were
Yeah,
like,
they looked
boom.
really good, and we were trying to capture that on in the picture, and we just weren't
I think
quite.
you had to tilt your pelvis a little bit more.
Yeah,
Just like
we'll have
pop
to
it down.
try it again, or so. I
We'll-
don't
we
know.
will.
Yeah,
We'll
do
try it
little
again.
little
That'll be a
twerkers.
thing.
I don't know. We'll figure it out, but it was a
Ooh,
fun time.
we're trying to start retreats, people, and just little ones. We think they'd be super fun and really beneficial for people. Just like have a whole weekend that's somewhat planned, but also very loose of just stuff you can do to relax and open up and see what else is possible.
Embrace the enabled energy.
Yeah,
vibe
and-
that we
yeah.
have going here.
Embrace the silliness. Embrace the fun. Because honestly, are you actually learning if you're not having fun?
No, absolutely
think
not.
so.
Are you having fun if you're not trying to get a picture of yourself as a human shadow puppet on the beach at 11 o'clock at night? I don't think so.
No,
I don't
not
think
even
so.
a little bit.
That's not even a little bit fun.
No.
I mean, yeah, there's plenty of other fun things, but I don't know that I've had that much fun in a very long time. That was
really
such
fun.
a good time. Okay, so what we're really here to talk about today is kind of the conclusion of our liver flush that we talked about on our last
Yeah.
episode. We kind of did the intro for the liver
Easy
flush. Do we want to
breezy.
talk about it a little bit?
Yeah. Just
Again, you want to give like the top notes?
Yeah, so it was called the Easy Breezy Liver Flush. We found it on Instagram. And I just sent it to you, and we were like,
Where
right,
all
well,
good health things
I
come
know,
from.
right? And it's run by realtors, so it's like totally legit, right? That's what happens. You find the realtors who know their shit,
This is
and
true.
then that's how it works.
Yes.
But yeah, so we started looking at it, and Rach is a doctor, and I do a lot of health research and stuff, and none of it looked unsafe. So we were like, all right, we'll try it out.
Let's go for it.
Yeah, and why not? So I did it, and I actually really liked it. Everything that I thought was going to be scary wasn't.
Yes.
Yeah, so basically what it consisted of was 8 total days.
8 days.
Of 5 or 6 of which were just putting certain things into your day that didn't really disrupt it. You just had to time it correctly. Like the
it was kind of like
bentonite clay had to be
priming
away from certain
food.
things. Yeah, and then the malic acid had to be with food, and then making sure that you got hydrated enough.
Yes.
And that was basically the first 5 days.
Yeah,
but at
5
one
days
point
of like priming the pump, and the pump
Yeah.
is your body, was really what the first 4.5, 5 days are doing.
But I remember at one point in the 75 videos, which were all like only 5 minutes long.
They were
like,
short
it
videos.
wasn't that big of a
short
thing.
videos.
But in the 75 videos, she was like, you don't even really need to do these 6 days, but it's a good idea if you do.
Right.
You know, so it was very easy breezy, very, like, you needed to know certain rules in order to get it all done properly, and then that was pretty much it. Like, even the enemas weren't that big of a deal.
They really weren't. Well,
No.
I think we'll talk about that a little bit more in depth
we
a
will.
little bit later. But yeah, that was not as
Yeah.
weird as I personally thought it was going to be.
The only things I was disappointed in was like the consistency of the instructions, because there were a lot of things that were like, oh, don't listen to the video. This is the updated version in the written part of it. Or like she would talk about something in the written and it didn't really seem to make sense when she was talking about it, you know, so just like the consistency between all of that.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the extras that she put in there, I know were just like space fillers, which were good information. She had some like
there was some meditations and some
dances
dancing and some movement and just some like mindfulness practices and
chewing practices.
Like
just being very conscious about what you're doing, which is all excellent stuff. And I think it kind of overshadowed stuff that you absolutely needed to know. Which
and I feel like it made it almost more stressful for me through the week of like, oh, I'm supposed to be watching video number 34 right now while I'm eating my food, but I'm at work. And I take a lunch, but I often don't really take the time to like actually have a break. I often do like a working lunch where I'm like eating and charting, or eating and looking at paperwork, or eating and doing other things, which arguably not the best practice, right? I really should just sit and eat and like actually take a break.
Oh yeah, and chew properly
and you know, just maybe goof off on my phone or just do something that's not work related for half an hour to an hour when I'm at work. But having that like stress of like, oh, I'm supposed to watch this video while I'm doing a thing, like almost added a little bit more stress to
the whole thing,
the week. And I didn't watch, I'll be honest, I didn't watch or listen to most of them.
Yeah, like
at least not through the week. I'd watch them. I think on day 6 or 7, I sat down on the couch in the evening. I kind of blew through a whole bunch of the ones that I had missed, and I think they were decent little meditations or decent little mindfulness practices. But I feel like something like that would be better done if we had gone to like a retreat liver flush,
which I think is what she was trying to make it feel like.
I think she was trying to recreate that like feeling and energy and vibe of the retreat liver flush without the cost and the time off and all the other stuff that goes into the retreat liver flush. So I could take or leave
for the everyday person using this, and fitting it into your busy schedule. I mean, really the only thing you have to know is day 7 and 8, you need to have off.
You want to be home.
And not because you're going to be like shitting your brains out or anything like that, because you need to be able to kind of concentrate on what you're doing so you don't mess anything up. So you don't, because those are the days that you have to do the fasting and you have to do the Epsom salt things and you have to relax during things. Otherwise you are going to make yourself sick.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that. I was really grateful that I was home and in a space where I could be quiet and calm on day 7 and 8. Like day 6, fine. All the other days up to day 6, totally fine. Day 7. And honestly, I feel like even day 7, like the fasting for me is always easier if I'm busy. But like up to that, like I think 5 o'clock mark on day 7, like after 5 o'clock, I think you really want to be home or wherever it is you're staying for the night. Like you want to be there at about 5 o'clock.
Well, I remember being really worried about day 6 and like, oh, I need to make sure I have day 6 off. And it really wasn't that big of a deal. It was like a low fat day. But honestly, even the fasting, I think, was easier with like the bentonite clay and the extra hydration that we were getting with the kidney flushes and stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't that big of a deal. Everything that I thought was going to be like, I'm going to be starving. It really wasn't.
No, I think I had, so day 6 was the no fat day.
Yeah.
Day 5 was low fat.
Yeah,
I had an
fat.
easier time with the no fat day
than
I
with
did with the low fat day. Part of that was just poor planning on my part. I'll own that. I did not plan my meals appropriately and ended up at work without food. And I made a poor choice in where I went to try to acquire food and ended up getting probably triple the amount of fat that I was supposed to have for the whole day. However, like I think it is probably okay in the long run. And so day 6, like no fat, I was like, I'll just fast for most of today. I think I had a no fat dinner.
Have like a really simple salad or just some veggies like without ranch and just chew and be with your food, and it really wasn't that big of a deal.
It was totally fine. And then same thing on day 7, the fasting, and
I did end up with the whole schedule, making my own schedule, because once you know the rules for like the bentonite clay and how far it's supposed to be away from food, and where you're supposed to take the malic acid pills and stuff, like it's super easy to just list it out and then fit it into your schedule.
I just started on like day 1. I was like, oh, malic acid with food, bentonite without food. And so I would drink the bentonite mix in the morning before I left for work. And then as soon as I had whatever I had broke my fast with at work, 'cause I often do intermittent fasting and don't actually break my fast until 10, 11 noon. I'd have my malic acid capsules and then I'd have more malic acid, bentonite halfway between breakfast and lunch again.
Yeah, you just have to fit it into a break real quick.
Where you're, about an hour between
It
meals
doesn't take that long,
end.
and it's not that nasty. Like I
was really surprised.
I actually liked the taste of everything, even the Epsom salt that we had to drink with the doses and stuff.
Epsom salt was a little rough for me.
It
wasn't awful, but it was a little rough for me.
But you haven't had a colonoscopy, right?
That's correct.
I have had a colonoscopy, so I had to drink the legit shit. That stuff was awful.
Okay.
This stuff was way easier. So maybe I'm just like, oh, it's not as bad as
the real shit.
The real shit. But yeah.
Okay.
It was really nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I did not mind it.
And
as long as you chug it back, it's like, whoop, and then,
and it's only 3/4 of a cup, so it's pretty easy to just hold your nose, suck it down.
What it was about the type of Epsom salt that we got, but it almost had like a little lemony taste at the end of it, and then that was it. Like it was done.
Mine did not have that experience.
Maybe I should give you mine.
Maybe I should try yours. Mine was pretty salty.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty salty. I ended up, I think I cheated a little bit. I did a squeeze of like a lemon into it, the thing, and then so I chugged it with the lemon in it, and that was I'm like, my mouth is watering now just thinking about it.
You're supposed to suck on the wedge.
Yeah, so I would squeeze it in and then chug it, and then I would like suck on what was left of what juice didn't come out of the lemon at the end, and that like it almost immediately killed the like salty like
just the taste of it. I wonder if that would work with the colonoscopy.
Maybe.
I don't know. I have to ask someone. Is there anyone out there that knows this question?
Or like, would you even be well, I guess if you're not like eating any of the pulp, it probably would be okay, but maybe like a little like lemon juice shooter or lime juice shooter or something like that, or something.
Even just licking one or something.
Yeah.
I think that would kind of, cleanse the palate and then let it all go.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Okay, so let's backtrack. Let's talk about the bentonite clay drink.
Okay.
So you said you really quite enjoyed most of the things.
I did, and I didn't even add anything into the bentonite clay. Like, I think it said that you can add like lemon juice or even put it with orange juice. I did it straight into water with the fiber.
With the fiber powder.
The inulin fiber and the bentonite clay. I just put it straight into water and drank it down. It was almost kind of malty to me.
Okay.
Like it did taste a little bit like mud, and I'm one of those people that likes the taste of like the muddy, dirty, earthy sort of things.
You like tea.
So I didn't. Yeah, I like plain teas with no honey or anything like that. Yeah. Herbal teas. So I didn't have any problem with it. Like it was really very pleasant to me. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have anything that makes you to go "Ugh," or anything like that. It just kind of went down.
Mm-hmm. I did end up mixing it. I kind of alternated between, I had some orange juice in my fridge that I mixed that and the inulin fiber into, and then I had some, I think it was like a strawberry lemonade, limeade, something. So I kind of alternated between the two of those. One of the issues that I had with the inulin fiber was that sometimes the fiber itself got really clumpy, chunky.
Yeah.
And did you have that experience?
Well, I found a glass straw that I was mixing it with, so I didn't have as much problem with that. I think if you had found something that you could
I was putting it in a bottle, and I was like shaking it.
Uh-huh.
And even that sometimes, like, there was chunks. So
Wow.
if you're sensitive to texture, that may be an issue.
I had to lick some of it off of the straw.
I did have that experience. It wasn't a bad taste though. Like
No,
the inulin
it's
fiber
not
was almost
horrible.
kind of sweet.
Yeah.
And then the thing that I noticed most about I think it was the bentonite clay, was just the like kind of the chalky, gritty feel in my mouth when I was done with it. But there
Yeah.
really wasn't, like, I didn't mind the flavor. It wasn't as like similar to licking a swamp as I kind of, for whatever reason, thought it would be. Like, there was very
Yeah.
minimal flavor or taste or even smell to it. Just that like kind of gritty mouthfeel at the end of it that cleared out with a little swish of water was totally fine.
Yeah, it's kind of
So-
like, that stuff the dentist puts in your mouth and you just have to swish it and
Yeah.
get it through, and then
that
it didn't
stuff.
make your teeth feel all gritty or anything
Yes.
like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's fine.
So that was fine. I'm trying to think. I would just like kind of pre-mix mine. I'd put it in a bottle first thing, shake it up, drink it, and then I would clean the bottle out and refill it with a little bit of juice
Yeah.
and take that with me along with a little container with the powders mixed in it to
Yeah.
do at lunch at work. That worked really well for me.
Yeah.
Like, that was pretty easy to grab a minute between craziness in the day before eating and
Just to mix it up and
mix
then
it up,
chug
throw
it
it
down real
back,
quick.
get
And it
back
wasn't
to
that
work.
much liquid.
No, it was like half a cup, 3/4 of a cup,
Yeah, it was
total
okay.
whole cup max. Like, it really wasn't much.
Yeah. And then the malic acid with the pills was super easy.
Yeah, I
It
think
wasn't
I don't know
hard
about
at
you,
all.
my very first day, I think first, or maybe it was one of the pre-days
Mm-hmm.
with the malic acid, I felt like maybe my liver was a little irritated from that. Like, I had like a
really?
little teeny tiny bit of like a sharp pain on my right side, like in my back, that
Huh.
kind of correlates in my mind with the liver tenderness points. But it was
Yeah.
just like once, maybe twice throughout the thing, just like very mild. Like, I was noticing like, oh, that's a sensation in my body. And then that was it. Like, there was no other pain. It didn't last very long. It was just like awareness of like, I think something's happening in there.
Do you drink a lot of juice?
No, not usually.
Okay. Well, I don't drink like a lot of sugary juices, but I love like cranberry juice and like the raw, pure cranberry juice, and I use it to like flavor my waters, but not sweetly.
Right.
'Cause it's not sweet.
It's not sweet.
But like the tart cherry juice, I love that sort of stuff, and I don't, probably because my liver is like, give it to me now.
I need it. Please help me.
But I wonder if that's why, like, I didn't have any reaction to the malic
That could
acid.
be.
Like, it really didn't bother me at all.
Yeah, because I don't mind like the just straight up not sweetened cranberry juice. I don't know that I've had the tart cherry juice, but I feel like that
It's about the same.
yeah, it wouldn't really bother me. So yeah, I don't do a ton of, mostly just water for
Yeah.
drinking, maybe a hard cider here and there.
I do got to tell you though, the kidney flush,
Unexpectedly delicious.
Right?
I don't know what I was expecting.
It's
from
basically just limeade. It's either honey or
that. Maple syrup.
maple syrup
Mhm.
with that's to taste, but then you put like 3 tablespoons of either lemon or lime juice into 2 quarts of water. And I didn't put that much maple syrup in mine.
I didn't know. I
But
didn't do that much.
I
in
found like a 1.7 liter bottle of whiskey that had like just a tiny bit in it, and I just dumped it out, and it wasn't good whiskey.
Black
but-
velvet.
Yeah. So I filled that up and carried it around. I actually thought that was pretty funny. So just
I
carrying
thought that
this
was really.
huge
I now
glass.
have the. We were joking through the week about she had her black velvet bottle, and we had a bottle of Crown Apple that was nearly empty at my house. So my husband did finally finish it, so I've got that like washed out and ready to go for next time. I think I ended up just like juicing a whole lemon into a Nalgene bottle. And then adding a little bit of syrup, swirling it around, filling the rest with water. And
Okay.
like, that's what I was doing for the for the thing, and it was I was like, this is just like lemonade.
Yeah.
That's all this is. This is nothing.
Basically.
I don't know. I had it in my head that I thought it was going to be like a really watered down.
And like hard to get down
And
or
yeah,
something.
like I wasn't expecting it to be as palatable as it was. I was very
Yeah.
pleasantly surprised by that.
And it wasn't as hard to get down 2 liters as,
No, it
as
really
you
wasn't.
thought it was going to be.
It was
Like
pretty easy.
It was kind of like once your body got used to it, it was like, oh yeah,
more
do
of that,
this
please.
again.
Exactly.
Please, baby, again.
Right? I did. Yes, Billy. Anyway, yeah, it was. I quite enjoyed the kidney flush, and I didn't do the kidney flush on the first day because I was like, oh, whatever. I've been drinking lots of water. It's fine. And then day 2, I think you had mentioned that you did it and you were enjoying it. And I was like, oh yeah, I should probably actually do that. And so I was just doing mine in the evenings. I'd get home and make a bottle and drink it before dinner. And funny side note, on the night of day 2, so going into day 3, I had like chugged the whole bottle.
Yeah.
And I had finished it shortly before bed, and I predictably had to get up in the middle of the night to use the restroom. And my husband in the morning was like, you need to finish that stuff sooner because you legitimately woke me up because your pee was so loud in the middle of the night.
Just like peeing like a racehorse.
Like literally, he's like, you were peeing so loudly. I don't even know. Honestly, I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't know how that's possible, but now I'm very self-conscious about using the restroom in the middle of the night. He's like, you need to pee quieter.
He's like, he probably thought something sprung a leak.
Yeah, he must have thought like a sink was dripping or I don't know, or running. I don't know what.
Popped.
Pee quieter. Okay. I'll try, honey. I'm sorry. So the whole rest of the weekend, I was still getting up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom, and I'm like trying to like sit right at the, front edge of the bowl and like just trying to like hold the stream, just little tinkles.
Good pelvic floor work.
I just Thursday or the 4th morning, I woke up and I was like, did I wake you up last night? He was like, no. I was like, okay, good. Mission accomplished.
All right. I can do it.
Anyway, if you're going to do the kidney flush, probably try not to chug 32 ounces of water at 9 p.m. before you go to bed at 10.
Within 2 hours? Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably about 2.5 hours.
Yeah, 2.5 hours.
Yeah, predictable outcomes.
And it has been really nice. Like, I'm still doing some of the liver flush. Like, I'll make it and drink it throughout the day and stuff, just in that same thing. It's really
delicious.
Refreshing.
It's quite
and
good.
Just kind of helps. It seems like it helps my body absorb the water better so that I don't have to pee as much.
Totally, yeah. You get that like extra boost of hydration. It does feel quite good.
It does. It's really nice.
I'll probably continue to make and drink that periodically.
Yeah. It was really nice. And I am actually looking forward to doing it again because it says you can do it 6 to 8 weeks later. Like, you don't have to, but
right. It recommends that. I think it recommends you do it every 4 to 6 weeks for however many cycles until you are either not continuing to expel liver stones or gallstones, or until whatever symptoms you are trying to heal with the flush go away.
It talks about like gallstones and liver stones and like different
digestive problems
that it can help with and stuff like that.
Well, I think she said that like she had a bunch of arthritic pain that got a lot better after like 3 or 4 flushes, and
I do feel like my hand numbness and stuff got a little bit better. Like my inflammation levels came down a little bit.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Afterwards, so that's been really nice.
I felt like
they didn't completely go away, but they've gotten better.
I felt like I've had some like better mental clarity since we finished.
I actually felt like it dipped a little bit. For me. Like it got a little worse afterwards. I don't know if it like up flushed something that just kind of went through or something, but I was legit like, I'm kind of a squirrely person, but for the most part, if I've started something, I can hold on to what I'm doing throughout my entire task and multitask like a SOBie, right?
Yes, you can.
And I was legit squirreling on shit, like totally forgot.
I remember
what I
came
doing.
into the clinic on, it must have been Wednesday.
Yeah, like 3 days after mine.
And you were in some sort of a state over just like I feel like you had to like, I put the cereal in the refrigerator and the milk in the pantry, and like I forgot stuff. Like, I mean, you were all kinds of
I was doing some
brain
crazy
foggy
stuff. Like, I don't I don't even remember the crazy stuff that I did, which is the level of like, usually if I do something silly, I'm like, I'm talking about it forever.
Totally.
But I know I did crazy stuff and don't remember.
That's kind of wild.
I don't know exactly what that was. Something was flushing and going through, you know.
Interesting. Yeah, I'd be curious to see if that happens again. If and when we repeat this in another. So I'm probably going to do like a 6-week interval.
I feel better now, but we'll see.
That first week right after. Okay, so let's fast forward through the week because days pre-day 1 through day 4 are very, very similar. You take the malic acid, you do the bentonite, you do that 3 times a day. You maybe do the meditation videos. You drink your kidney flush, and you eat as normal. Yeah. And then on day 5, we go low fat. I think ideally keeping it under, what was the recommendation?
Hold on. For those first 5 days, they do recommend that you stay off of certain things and absolutely no alcohol.
No alcohol. Avoid pork. No pork.
No pork. And then
avoid
it just says
beef and dairy if you can.
Yeah, and like glutens and grains, corn, and sugars and stuff. But of course, we didn't do that.
I was not good about following the majority of the dietary. I had a bunch of beef.
No, I did the alcohol.
I didn't do the alcohol. I did have a bunch of beef though.
Oh, okay.
It's like a lot of beef.
Like you didn't have alcohol.
No alcohol.
Okay, no, I didn't either.
Okay,
except for one oopsie that I had to spit out.
That's right. I think we'll give you'd be okay for that.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah, okay. So some mild, moderate dietary recommended restrictions, and I think a lot of that was like in an effort to help prevent stomach pain, cramping, nausea, physical like discomforts, that sort of thing. Plus, I mean, a lot of the things that is recommended that you avoid are inflammatory, like sugar, very inflammatory, corn, pretty inflammatory, gluten,
pork,
inflammatory, pork. I don't personally really understand the pork avoidance.
I think was for the parasites.
Okay.
Because apparently you can get a lot of parasites from pork, which is why it's like not kosher.
Okay.
If I'm remembering that correctly.
That sounds
right.
Accurate. Yeah.
I think so. I'm always right.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And moving on. Okay, so day 5, low fat.
But pretty much the same.
Pretty much the same. Still taking the malic acid and bentonite and kidney flush. Day 5, if I'm remembering correctly, was the first recommended enema.
Yeah, at the end of the day. Or actually, it was any time during the day.
I think it was recommended anytime after.
And it was just a water enema.
Water enema. I skipped it.
You did, and you waited until the next day.
I did wait until the next day, partly because I'll be honest, I was intimidated by the idea of doing the enema, and I don't often like, we talk about like doing the thing that makes you uncomfortable, and I was just like that.
Something that scares you every day.
I'm not mentally prepared for
I did have my partner help me with that, and that was a really big help.
I could imagine.
FYI, you can get a really easy, stainless steel bucket enema kit online for like $35-$40. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I think I found mine for like $28.
Yeah,
like it was pretty cheap, and it comes with you get the bucket, you get the hose, the little stopper, valve, and a handful of like
the inserty things,
options.
And they all like disconnect, and nothing's going back into it, so you can reuse it and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, I skipped day 5 enema. I did mine on day 6, partly because I just needed a little extra time to wrap my head around. That was one of the things I didn't so much appreciate about the instructions, is it kind of like went forward as though like everyone does enemas regularly. Yeah. And didn't really give like good instructions on how to do an enema. I've never personally done an enema. Yeah. So I had no idea what, even after watching, she does have a video where like she doesn't show graphically, but she does demonstrate and like kind of verbally walk through doing a coffee enema, but like it's still like, she doesn't go through like how to prime the hose and all of the steps that like I kind of had a trial and error into figuring out, because
she did talk about priming the hose and stuff, but it was such a quick video, and it was kind of awkward and stuff, and like she wasn't like, you need to prime the hose, which means running the water through the hose so that there's no air bubbles, because you don't want air bubbles going into it. Creates also unneeded pressure.
Well, what I discovered is, I mean, at least the first attempt that I made, like I didn't prime the hose, like I did, but I didn't like prime it all the way down into the end. And then once I got the tip inserted and placed, like I opened the valve and nothing happened. Like there was no water flowing whatsoever. So I don't know if that was just happenstance or
it had
what.
collapsed or
But it like nothing was flowing through, and so I had to like take it out, start over, and I actually ended up like, okay, is it working? And I like turned the valve on, and the water's coming out. I was like, okay, it's working. Close the valve, reinsert, and then it worked. So I think there was just like a air bubble, you know, that once you get it inserted, there's a vacuum basically inside of your body. So anyway, so that was a little bit of a learning experience. And then after that, like I didn't also know like how much water to run.
It was hard. Like I said, I had my partner there, and he was looking in the bucket and being like, okay, you know, you have this much, but if I hadn't had him there, there's no way for me to stand up.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Because you're laying on the ground. Once you get the tube up, you want to lay on the ground before you start, you know, opening the valve to let the water in.
Right.
And you don't want to get back up.
Right. Literally. So yeah, you have no way of, and the bucket is supposed to be at least 18 inches above your butthole.
Yeah.
And you don't want the hose to drop below. You want the hose to just like, yeah. So like, there's really no good way to know how much water has gone in, and like, is there an upper limit of like safety concern? You know, I like did a Google search, and Google was like typically 2 cups, and I was like, okay, great,
2 cups.
And
yeah, I think for the first time I did good, and I didn't, you know, I put about 2 cups in, and it was fine, and I was able to hold it in for the full 10 minutes. Like it was great. And then the second time I was like, well, how much is too much? And I found too much. I think it's about 4 to 5 cups.
Okay. All right. That's good information.
At that point, you're like, holy crap, there's no holding this.
There's
no trust. Oh, trusting your butthole.
Trust your butthole.
At some, you know, when you insert like maybe a half a cup, your body starts to be like, oh, you need to poop.
You need
and
to
you
go
need to just trust
right
that your butthole is not going to just poop.
It's not going to betray you.
It'll cramp. And when they say cramp, they're not talking about like that sharp cramp that I know all the females know what the hell I'm talking about when I say that. It's not that type. It's the type of like, oh, I need to go to the restroom right now.
It's almost like a fart pain.
Yeah, it's like a fart pain. It's just that like low-key kind of tightening.
Yeah, intense fart pain.
Yeah. And so you just kind of breathe and let it relax and trust your butthole that it's going to hold, and then you're fine.
Yep.
But I did get to that 5 cups, and it was like there was no trusting my butthole
no.
anymore. I was like, oh, nope. I got to go on the toilet, and it's right there. So I just went.
Yep. I think I'll say my first and only, I did not do another. I just was like, I'm good. But my first one, I think I lasted about 5 minutes, and then for whatever reason, my brain started playing tricks on me. And I think it was probably because I still had like a little bit of lube. And so I was like, am I pooping myself? Because I was laying on my bed. Like I didn't administer on my bed. I like sat on the toilet, administered, and then I went and laid on my bed. And I was like, we just got a brand new mattress. Like I cannot.
No, yeah.
We have the fancy mattress protector. But I was like, I'm not gonna shit on my bed. Like absolutely not. So I went and I released, and it was all good. But
I laid on my bathroom floor. I put folded blankies down.
I thought about bringing in blankies, and I had like a towel set up on the back of my toilet, and I was like ready for like a big old mess. Unfortunately, I didn't need it. I thought about going in my shower and like creating a little nest on the floor of my shower, and
there were people that did tub, set up their tub for it and stuff, just in case and stuff. But it really, like, as long as you let it go slowly, and it has a valve that,
there's a control valve.
Control the speed and everything like that, and you just kind of feel how your body's doing and shut it off. When you were talking about, like, the lube and stuff, if your water is too warm or too cold, it can feel like stuff is leaking out, but it's not actually leaking out. Like, it's fine. Like,
I actually put like a little pot on my stove and like poured the water into the pot, turned the burner on, and like had a thermometer in the pot. And I like, cause I legit I'm like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. And it's like, well, it's too cold, it's gonna hurt. If it's too hot, it's gonna hurt, and you're gonna be really uncomfortable. So I was like, okay, what's the perfect temperature? And I think the perfect temperature that I found was, I think it was like 102 degrees or something like that. And so I was like, thermometer in the water, heating, like stirring, like I think it got to like 105, and I was like, okay, well, by the time I get it poured into the bucket and get the bucket set up and all of that, like it'll have come down probably 5 degrees, it'll be perfect. And it was. And I almost think that having it just a little bit warmer, a little bit cooler would have been better, because it was too close to body temperature. And so I'm like sitting there, I'm like,
is anything happening?
And they get a little cramp, and I'm like, okay, something's probably happening.
Yeah.
You know, but I had no real concept or marker of like, am I getting anywhere? Because the first time when there was legitimately nothing going, like I'm like, how long am I supposed to wait? Like, I don't know.
And were you sitting up?
I was, yeah. When I was administering, I was sitting up. So then like I had the added issue of like I had to like hold the tube with one hand while I was like working the valve with the other. Because I was like, okay, well, I'm probably good, but if I let go of this tube, like, it's just going to come flying right back out the back. So,
okay, friend, I love you, and I will come and help you with your enema next time if you'd like me to. Not administer, but, like, check water levels and be there for support, because it is really helpful having
take you
someone
up on
there.
Yeah, because it was,
to
like,
just be like, oh, you have this much in there right now, and you're doing fine. Breathe.
That would be, honestly, that would probably be helpful, because otherwise I'm going to, like, be getting, like, a mirror. Yeah. And, you know, I love my husband very much. My husband loves me very much, but he is like way too grossed out by poop specifically.
Okay. Yeah.
Like he's so funny. He can and will describe his to me. But the second I try to describe mine to him, like you would think I was trying to murder a baby. Like he's just, oh, God, like, oh no, that's disgusting. Weird. No, okay. So anyway, like if I absolutely have something like legitimately medical scary to like tell him, he'll listen. But if it's, you know, because sometimes you just want to describe it just to like watch his face go, oh God, no.
You should have seen this juicy honker up on his
literally. I threaten him because he's like, one of these days I'm going to take a picture for you. And I'm like, baby, you do not want to open that can of worms. You don't want to go there with me because
let's do it.
I would love nothing more.
I dare you.
Right? I dare you. I would love nothing more for you to start a poop picture war with me. I will win that because I'm not grossed out by it.
No.
Right? I'm not. I'm like, okay, that's a shit. Like, cool.
I mean,
cool. You probably need more fiber, baby. Like,
if you poop a deuce that looks like a number 2, you're getting a picture of it.
I want to see it.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
absolutely.
If you're shitting orange, I want to know. Right?
What's happening?
Is there weird colors in there?
Did you eat crayons?
Please show me. What kind of bubble gum have you been chewing on, sweetheart? What is happening right now?
So, yeah. The enemas weren't that big of a deal.
They really weren't. Like I said, some for me, some just like confusion of not knowing what the fuck I was doing.
Yeah.
But once I got through that, like I think I could probably do my own next time. It would be a lot easier. Like I know what to expect. It's that fear of the unknown for me. I know what to expect. I know what it's going to feel like. Like I would just put whatever amount of water in the bucket, and you know, because another question I had, I guess, on the like 2 cups of water, I was like, okay, well, if I get 2 cups in there, is there going to be enough pressure to like get the water to fall out?
Yeah.
So I added more water.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and then I started to like get in my head, I'm like, oh God, I'm going to overdo it. Like,
yeah. So, I don't think you're going to overdo it. At some point, you're like, definitely like, that's enough.
That's too much.
And I found it last time. I know exactly what it feels like.
So I'll put 3 cups in the thing, and if I get it all.
Well, remember, you have to put at least 4 or 5, because in order to flush the tube, like when I flushed my tube, I let at least 1.5 cups, if not 2 cups, run through the entire tube so that all the bubbles were out.
Yeah. I also eventually did that too.
Yeah.
So with all of the kinks, as you will, worked out of the enema, again, really not that bad. Like just for me, my own confusion, fear of the unknown, and just not knowing what to expect. But ultimately, it was fine. It really wasn't painful, like mildly crampy, fart pain type discomfort.
Yeah. Like I said, you're not gonna go out to the grocery store afterwards.
No, definitely.
You're gonna be home the rest of the day.
For me, after the enema, like after the like initial release, I think I probably could have gone to I don't remember having like multiple releases. I did
after my overload.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I think I had some internal cramping with the too much, and it
got stuck.
Yeah, it got stuck a little bit, and so I had a couple of different releases of just water.
I can see that. That would make sense to me, but for me, in the relatively minimal amount that I did, like I probably could have gone out and I was like 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night when I did mine, so it was like I wasn't going anywhere anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was that was day 5.
Yeah, day 5.
And then day 6, no fat. another enema. I think those were the only differences.
Was that the last day for bentonite clay? Because I don't think do.
I think yes. I think
bentonite clay on day 7 because day 7 is the
day
flush.
7
there's
is the
one
flush.
bentonite clay on day 7.
Was there one, or was it the last malic acid?
I don't remember. It was either the last malic acid or the last bentonite clay. It's on the thing.
It's on. Yeah, it's in the
and
workbook.
we'll link it and put it in here.
So yeah, day 6 not that different. Low fat or no fat. And the purpose of the low fat, no fat days is the way that the liver works when we're digesting food is that we give our body fat and then your liver and your gallbladder excrete bile to go and help bind and break down the fat in your gut. And so this whole week with the malic acid, we have been working on increasing the liver's ability to produce and excrete bile.
And softening stones.
And softening any stones that are in there. And so on day 5 and 6, low fat, no fat, what we're doing is kind of slowing down. The body's still going to be producing that bile, but now we're just having it kind of hold in the liver, hold in the gallbladder to prepare for the flush.
The flush.
On day 7.
Which is when you overload it.
You overload it with fat.
Which is basically a 3/4 cup of fresh grapefruit juice and then half a cup of olive oil juice.
Fresh,
like olive oil.
Brand new bottle of organic
olive oil juice. And you're mixing that together and chugging it. That was a little difficult.
I did okay with that.
Real quick. You got to do it real quick.
There was a little bit of
the
like
oil for me.
Yeah, there was a little bit of like the initial like kind of funkiness of it.
Yeah.
I was a little bit like for me it was the initial smell. Like when I shook the bottle, popped the top, went to chug and don't smell it. Like I just stupidly breathed through my nose and was like, that's olive oil and grapefruits. Like that is not a combination I was prepared for my brain to deal with.
Don't do that.
So I just got a little whiff of it and it was like the olive oil and then the grapefruit hit my nose and I was just like, that's weird. Chug lug and just
and then you're supposed to just lay down. The whole thing, it has you actually taking Epsom salt doses before those. So you make this Epsom salt mixture and then you split it into 4 6-ounce doses. And you take the first dose and then you drink water afterwards, but then you stop drinking water after an hour.
I think it's the other way around.
Oh, you stop drinking water for an hour and then you start drinking water again?
Yeah, I think you stop drinking water for an hour before you do
the second dose.
The drink, the salt.
Right.
And then you don't drink water for another almost hour and then you drink a little bit and then you do the second dose. Yeah. And then you don't drink again for a while because you don't want to dilute that Epsom salt in your belly because that's a very powerful laxative.
Yeah, so you're letting that kind of flush everything through.
To kind of increase and influence and increase the peristalsis of your gut motility to flush any and everything that is in
Exactly. And it decreases any nausea that you might have when you actually take the liver flush, the grapefruit and everything like that. But so you take 2 doses and then you do the liver flush. And then you're supposed to lay down and do nothing.
Nothing.
Guess who came in 5 minutes after I laid down to do nothing?
Was it one of your children?
Mom!
After being specifically and explicitly told, don't bother me for the next 30 minutes.
I went in and talked to them and was like, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to lay down and do nothing. Mom, I really don't feel good. Mom, she's bothering me. Oh, I was like, oh my God, I love you guys so much.
Go away.
But if you make me get up and I vomit, I'm vomiting right on you. Like I'm aiming for you.
I will aim for your hair. Possibly down your shirt.
I hate vomiting. Hate it. So yeah, and then you just go to sleep. Like you can get up and eliminate if you need to. I think I had to eliminate after the second Epsom salt dose.
Please continue.
Yeah, and then I just went to sleep after I took the thing. Like really? I didn't have any problems after that. Yeah, I just fell asleep. I put on an audiobook and just fell asleep.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I did the first Epsom salt dose, 2 hours later, second Epsom salt dose, no big deal. I was getting a little rumbly in my tumbly after the second, no big deal. And then 2 hours later, shake, chug-a-lug. My experience was, I guess, a little bit different. I lay down, I was in the dark, and quiet of my bedroom. And I set a 30-minute timer because my husband was like, trying to watch TV. Like, let's go watch some shows together. And like, was like, you could just drink that and then come out here and just hang out and watch TV. And I was like, I'm going to take the advice of the expert and just lay down for half an hour. Like, you can pause it. You can watch something else, whatever you need to do for half an hour, you'll survive.
Yeah.
So I drank it, laid back, quiet, dark. And about 10 minutes in, I got a little bit of the spins. Like, just like almost like an energetic move. Like I get that sometimes when I'm having like Reiki or energy work done, like my head just feels vertigo-y.
Okay.
And at that point I was like, oh, maybe I need to like do something to distract my brain a little bit. So like I opened my eyes, got my book out. Like I was trying to like read a book on my phone and my eyes were like refusing to focus. It was a really interesting experience. So I was like, immediately no, put my phone back down. It's just like, I'm gonna be okay. And that only lasted for like maybe 5-10 minutes. It wasn't bad. It wasn't like I felt like I was going to vomit or anything. It was just like a little heady kind of experience. And I was feeling, I don't know about you, I was feeling like a bubbly sensation
in your liver.
I
was waiting for that
in my belly area. Yeah, it wasn't huge, but it was just like a little flutter.
Yeah.
And then the half hour passed, and I was like pretty glad because I needed to get up and eliminate.
Yeah.
Had nothing exciting. It was just eliminations, mostly water from the
Epsom
salt. And then at that point, my husband came in and was like, let's go to bed. And I was like, okay, cool. So we laid down. I went to bed. I don't think I woke up to pee at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't have any cramping. There was no gassiness or bloating or
horrible
nausea or
like
nothing. Like it was I fell asleep. I maybe read for a little while and fell asleep and slept through the night. And it was great. Like I was surprised by that. I thought between the Epsom salt and the olive oil grapefruit juice mix, like I thought I was going to be having some kind of a feel.
Yeah, so did I.
And I really didn't.
No, it wasn't bad. I think all the prepping that we did beforehand really helped.
I do think that was helpful.
Yeah. But then you get up the next morning and the first thing you do is take another Epsom salt.
Mm-hmm.
And you just chug it down and then you relax for a little bit. Like I think I chugged mine down and then just laid down again and like almost went back to sleep.
Yeah.
And then about an hour later, you're supposed to drink some more water and then a little bit after that.
An hour later, each dose is like 2 hours apart.
You have to drink some water in between hand and then you have to give it some more space and then take the last Epsom salt dose. And then the first meal that we had was like all fruit. It was one fruit.
One fruit. And I, again, was not super well prepared for that. I think I had a banana.
You had a banana. I went out and got 3 mangoes. So I had 3 mangoes.
Okay.
Because when I think a fruit, it's like just one type of fruit.
I think that's what she meant. Like you can have as much of that particular fruit. Like if I had apples, like if you want 6 apples, eat 6 apples, but eat only
apples.
Yeah. If you want oranges, eat all the oranges you want, but only oranges.
Only oranges. I liked my mango. It was very yummy.
I bet. Yeah. Yeah. The banana was good. Like I wished I had more banana. It wasn't the end of the world, but I was a little like, oh, my tummy's super empty.
Yeah. And then you could slowly put other foods back in. It wasn't that hard too. Like I wasn't ravenous afterwards either.
No, I really wasn't. Like I don't even remember what I had for my first like meal after the fruit.
Neither do I.
But yeah, I wasn't like desperate for whatever it was. I was like, oh, okay, it's time to eat. Cool, whatever.
Yeah.
Moving on.
I remember on the low fat day us talking and I was like, I need more snacks in my life. Like, can we have a snack day after this? Because I want, but it was only that low fat day. And then the no fat days were fine. It was really weird.
Well, and I think both of us typically have quite a bit more like appetite. Protein and fat. Like we do tend more towards not
protein
keto,
and veggies,
but we tend more towards the like keto side of the spectrum. Of,
I think it helps
protein,
with the more
fat.
physical job that we do.
Yeah. And so I'd also struggled with, I wanted all of the snackies on low fat, no fat day.
Yeah.
So that was also challenging for me. And when you text me about that, I was like, all I want right now is some frickin' bacon.
You were hard about your protein.
I was like,
I need more protein.
I need more protein. Like this like vegetarian rabbit stuff. Like it's delicious. Don't get me wrong, but like, can I have some chicken? Maybe a piece of fish.
Beans,
like,
lady.
I don't want beans. I want animal flesh.
I'm gonna make you a bean soup. Does it have bacon in it? I don't want it.
Don't bring it if there's not bacon. It's pretty sad. Okay, so let's talk about the first elimination on day 8 in the morning. Did you just immediately wake up and eliminate? What was your experience first thing in the morning?
First thing in the morning. Oh, yeah. That was when all the stones started coming out, huh?
Yeah.
And it was like, it was very pebbly.
Yeah.
Like it was mostly clear because
Mm-hmm.
it had nothing but waters. Because on
Mm-hmm.
day 7, you stop eating at like noon.
Yes.
And you don't really eat that much in the morning anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really almost clear, maybe a little bit cloudy. And the stones that came out were really pebbly, the little green, yellow things.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I had anything bigger than like a pea.
Okay. I had my experience also very pebbly. I had a couple. I was very surprised actually by the size of some of the stones that I was very surprised there were any stones.
Yeah.
And I had a couple of them that were like about the size of the tip of my pinky finger. Like I was very surprised by that.
That's pretty big.
And you know, obviously a lot of little itty bitty ones. And then second elimination, no big ones in second elimination, but there were even more of the like itty bitty.
Yeah.
I would almost say like caper sized stones on
around
the
there.
second round. But I was very surprised by how many of these little green floaty stones there were.
Could have filled a fishbowl with those things.
Probably.
Or-
Like I
or
wasn't gonna,
outfitted.
you know, get the strainer and like collect it and whatnot. Like
Neither was I. They
No.
floated, which I thought was
I
weird.
was very surprised by that.
I thought they would sink, but I guess we only ever, like when they show you, because they have pictures on them, they only show the impressive size ones, you know, golf ball size and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they were all like
Pretty little.
in someone's hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And they, you know, didn't really show them in the bowl, which I can understand. It's kind of gross.
It's kind of gross.
But
I mean,
they
straining
floated.
them off
Did the
bowl
big ones float too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Big ones floated.
Huh.
So yeah, I don't know. I was very surprised by that. Like I kind of went into this like, that's not gonna be me. I'm not gonna see anything interesting. And I saw some interesting stuff. Like I legitimately was like, you know, I'd go and I'd look and probably got inappropriately close to the bowl. Like, am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? Like, what is that? Like, that's incredible. Like,
hey Todd,
I literally was like, calling my husband. I was like, you want to come see this? And he's like, no. Like, stop talking while you're in there. What is happening?
Damn it. We need to go to an actual liver flush thing together.
Really fun.
And I would look at your stones.
You look at my stones. I look at your stones.
Thank you.
Let's do that.
You.
I think we should. That was one thing I did have that thought, like during this process, especially when we actually started, like I started watching the videos in the evening with the meditations, and I was like, I could see going to like an actual 8-day go away retreat to do this, where your only job is to eat whatever food they put in front of you and
usually
take whatever
juice
supplements and drink whatever thing. And
meditate
and do the yoga and nature walk and do whatever else. You have nothing else to do but like eat and drink whatever they put in front of you and then flush, which I have a hard time envisioning exactly how that works when you're flushing in a group setting. Like, do you all just like sit around, like you're looking at each other and you're like drinking your Epsom salts and then you go do whatever you're going to do for the next 2 hours and you come back and you drink your Epsom salts in a group and then go do whatever? Or do they just like give you the supplies and like go lock yourself in your room?
Go lock yourself. I don't know. I always imagined kind of like, you know,
I'm like, are we in a room with like
movies where like they line everybody up and they're just like, take it now.
Right, yeah, right. And you have to like take it, show that you swallowed, and then I'm like, okay, well then do we all go into like a big giant collection room with like just lined with toilets and everybody just sits there and stares at each other while we flush in harmony and beauty? Like, how does that work?
Connect with your fellow man.
Seriously, like, could you imagine? I'm sure I hope to God that's not what actually happens. There's got to be at least one retreat out there that's like, come shit with us. This is the big selling point. Just a bunch of thrones lining the outskirts of this big, beautiful room with like, there's a yoga mat in front of it. Like, do some down dog if you can't. Lay in child's pose.
Yeah.
Happy baby.
Don't do happy baby. Maybe on the toilet do happy baby.
Oh my
They have
gosh.
like special squatty potty seats that come up that far.
Yes. little automated like foot riser. You can
There you
choose
go.
your level
Into
of
the
squat.
stirrups we go.
Right. They have to all have like built-in bidet. That I think. How was that, by the way? Like, you just got a bidet installed right before day 7. How?
Okay, so I got the Costco bidet, right? The Toto one that they have just at Costco.
Sure.
I was not impressed. I have one downstairs that was like $30. It wasn't that expensive. It's one that goes underneath the seat and can hook up to your hot water.
Yeah.
So I can get hot water running through it and stuff. But the one that I have down there that was only $30, like the water pressure is way stronger. Even though I can't adjust it that much, like it's just way better. This one is supposed to be self-cleaning and heated seats and all this stuff. The water pressure was awful.
Really?
Like, it didn't even clean. Like, anything.
Just kind of wetted it.
I would sit there for like a minute, which is a long time to have something spraying you in the butthole, by the way.
It. Yeah, I believe that.
It's a while.
Uh-huh.
And, like, I still have to wipe afterwards, and it was still dirty. It was really disappointing. I actually returned it.
Okay.
And got something else. It's called Alpha King bidet.
That sounds much more.
The water pressure is better.
That can handle manly shits.
Yeah. The Alpha King seems to be a little bit better. It's still not as good as my friend's bidet. She has a Toto too, which is why I was so excited about it. But hers is like legit Japanese Toto bidet.
Oh, okay.
And she was like, Japanese know their shit.
Literally,
like, yes.
Shit is their business.
Yes, they do. Hers is like awesome, and it gets forward enough for like the feminine rinse and stuff. This one has a feminine rinse setting, but it doesn't like
It
it's
doesn't
the
rinse
same.
the feminine.
Like I held a see-through bucket over it just to see.
Sure.
And the whole thing, like the whole nozzle comes out further to do the feminine rinse and then sprays in the same spot. I was like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
That's such a cop-out.
It's such bull right now.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I'm just like, do I return this one, which was twice as expensive?
Oh, absolutely return it.
Yeah, I think I might, and then just try to find something that actually works.
Yeah.
But still the water pressure is better than the Toto. Like the one from Costco is total crap, and I'm gonna tell them that.
That's good to know.
And just be like, no, don't get that one. It's not worth it.
That's unfortunate and also kind of unusual. Like, I almost wonder if, like, is that all of them? Did you somehow get a lemon? Because, like, Costco is usually known for having...
Yeah, Costco. But
really
I went
good
onto the thing, and a bunch of them were like, yeah, I usually get a Toto, and this one was not as good as the other Totos that I've gotten.
Oh, okay.
So
interesting.
I think it was
Just
not
a good one.
Not that one.
Okay. Interesting.
So, yeah.
Well, bummer.
Unfortunate.
Dang it.
But
I will say, I don't feel like at any point during, like, the eliminations through the week, I didn't feel like anything was particularly...
Dirty.
Explosive or dirty or, you know, granted, like, I'm relatively regularly irregular.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I typically struggle with too much backup of, like, needing to eliminate a lot all at once. So I would say that, you know, perhaps if you're someone who frequently goes a week or more without eliminating, perhaps you may have a slightly different experience with the elimination of like everything.
Yeah, and I'm
or
someone
the
who
enemas
goes twice a day at least.
Yeah, so
I get grumpy.
I think that probably plays a bit of a role in the overall experience of like not having big, explosively messy eliminations.
And like even the eliminations that we did have that were watery and kind of felt like diarrhea, like
legitimately
it's
felt
not...
like I was pissing out of my butthole several times.
Yeah, exactly.
Legitimately with like little
but it doesn't
stony interruptions.
It doesn't cramp like when you have diarrhea.
Yeah, no
and
cramping.
It doesn't sting and irritate like it does when you have diarrhea.
No sting,
like
no irritation.
It's not like that. It's very gentle.
Like overall I'd probably give it like a 7 or an 8 out of 10 for the experience. Like a couple inconsistencies with the instructions. Yeah. I personally would have liked a more like step-by-step idiot's guide to enemas.
Without a lot of the fluff. Like the fluff was fun if you had the time and everything like that. But being as this is a easy breezy enema flush meant for someone who's busy
and working and all of that I think was a little bit unnecessary. It felt like it was designed for like office workers. Yeah. Like no shade, no hate on office workers, but it felt like it was designed for somebody that works in an office or at home from home that takes an hour for lunch and
can legit make their own schedule
Mhm.
and adjust it throughout the day. I think
Yeah.
having clients and time that we
Right.
absolutely cannot do anything
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like
made it harder.
overall, it was pretty easy to like squeeze in the bentonite, between clients and, do the malic acid. I think I maybe forgot 2 or 3 malic acid doses during the week. Like I think,
but it was fine.
It was fine. I don't think I.
And if you
screwed
forgot a
anything up.
malic acid in the morning or at lunchtime, you could always throw it into your
take
dinner.
an extra one at dinner.
Like at one point, I think she was like, "You can take all the malic acid at once, but it's better to space it out through the day." And I was like, "Well, good to know."
Right.
Like I'll just if I forgot one, I'll just add it into the next one.
And I did that I think a couple times. I may have not forgotten a dose, but thought I forgot a dose. So maybe doubled up once or twice. I don't know.
Which is fine too.
Totally. Like
because it is easy breezy and gentle. Like
it's
totally not a big deal.
So what would your overall rating of the experience be?
I would give it like a 7 or 8 out of 10, Yeah. Like I'm wondering what someone with like legit gallstone and liver problems would have. Like I have a slightly fatty liver, but it wasn't a problem,
Yeah, I'd be kind of curious. And I'm also curious what the experience is going to be.
The second time?
Yeah, in another, probably it's been, 3 weeks since we've
didn't she used to have one video where she was like, it's really the second time that it really kicks in.
Yeah, so I'm curious about round 2, if that's a significantly different experience, or if it's about the same with more stones, or what the vibe is going to be. So we'll keep you posted. Assuming we attempt to do another one in 6 weeks. I think I'll probably do it. Like we'll have to maybe pick and try to do it roughly at the same time together. Yeah. I think
we're only like 2 days off this time.
Yeah, I think you started like 2 because your weekends are slightly different than mine. So it's reasonable that you would have done it a couple days after me. Yeah. Yeah, overall it was
good.
It was good. I would do it again. I would recommend, I think if there are others, talk to your doctors. People don't take the internet strangers' advice on what to do for your health. But if you are...
We're not realtors.
This is true. This is true. But I will say if you're a relatively healthy person and you have some mild health concerns that you are interested in seeing if cleaning out and clearing out and flushing your liver may or may not be helpful. It was overall a relatively pleasant experience.
Yeah, and relatively easy to fit into the schedule.
Schedule.
It wasn't a big deal.
The supplements were relatively cheap. I think we split most of the things. I think we spent
but even if we had
on supplies.
Yeah, like the entire thing, including her instructions and everything, I think max 200.
Max. I would say 125.
Yeah.
If that. So
I'm just thinking like if you had to get everything and stuff.
I guess if you have to like add in like
if you're doing it again, like you can
and there's plenty if you're getting the supplements, like there's plenty of supplements to do 3, 4, 5 cleanses or
like you said,
flushes.
we split it and it was fine. It was enough.
Plenty.
Like it was more than enough. I think we can use the same things again.
Yeah, I've got plenty.
Yeah,
like
so do I.
Left over at my place. So
maybe some more malic acid pill, but that's it.
I think I've got plenty of those. I gave you some. One thing we forgot to talk about is the recommended castor oil flush on day 1. I forgot all about that because so one of the recommendations in the pre-days is to take castor oil on pre-day 1 and 2 in preparation for doing a castor oil flush elimination. And I think I had a bit of a reaction to the castor oil. It kind of made me sick to my stomach. So I ended up not doing that. Plus my day 1 was Sunday and I was going up to have brunch with a friend, and I was like, I really probably shouldn't be in a situation where I might shit my pants at brunch. So plus with the like nausea and upset stomach I had the days before when I took the castor oil, I skipped that. I also really didn't fully understand the point of it other than just to like start the week off with a big shit.
Yeah, it was just kind of clean everything
just kind of prep it.
Yeah.
So what was your experience? Because you did.
Yeah, I didn't. Well, with the little test, because she has to do a little test at the beginning. I think it was like 1 or 2 pills, right?
2 pills.
I took the 2 pills. I didn't have any reaction. Like it was fine. I had a nice bowel movement later, and it was fine.
Okay.
But on the day that you actually do it, you take 4, and then you wait 15 minutes.
And then
you take another 4. And you basically continue that. And the max you want to take is a tablespoon, which came out to 19 capsules.
Yeah.
I think I ended up taking 8, like 2 doses of it before I was like, I'm going to wait on that. And then 3 hours later, had a nice elimination. And I was like, that's good enough.
Okay.
Like, it wasn't that big of a deal. Like, I didn't want to overload it.
Yeah.
If you want to make your first day more interesting, you could try for the full tablespoon and see how that goes.
I think it says, like, up to the tablespoon. Like, if you have a full elimination on 2 capsules, like, just take 2.
Just take 2. Yeah. She was like, if you test it out with 2 and have a full elimination, that's all you need.
Yeah. But
so a lot of this really is about listening to your body.
Absolutely.
You got to be able to listen and just
pay attention, especially to your bowels and your tummy and all that good stuff. So I think next time I may try it again. I'll try to make sure that I'm not having brunch on the morning of day 1 so that I can, kind of deal with the mild nausea and stomach discomfort. And like, I just didn't want to be like having cramps and belly pains and whatnot at the table and possibly vomit on my friend. So you're welcome, Polly. So in the days after, I have maybe noticed now, like the first week after, my bowel movements, I think, were even more irregular.
Complete emptying.
Yeah, like completely empty. Yeah. And then, I don't know about you, I did not take the advice to like keep drinking the inulin fiber, like a teaspoon at a time until things normalized.
Okay.
So
because it had the probiotics in it, huh? I was taking probiotics though.
I was drinking like kombucha. I had some Live Culture kombucha that I was drinking, but I didn't do the extra fiber. So my bowel movements probably took a solid 4 or 5-ish days to kind of start to normalize.
Okay.
Again, no pain, no discomfort, just like soft / very small movements, maybe a little bit of like cramping here and there, but not like painful cramping, just like an awareness that there's like something going on in my colon. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if my back pain really got any better. I don't know if my jaw pain got any better. My concentration maybe improved a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how things go after like the second and or third, if we decide to go for a third.
Yeah.
How about you? How did you feel?
Well, like I said before, I
like
got
your
really
concentration,
afterwards and stuff like that. And the bowel movements, like I don't know, it took about 4 or 5 days before they evened out. Just like
I think we both forgot about the inulin fiber thing.
Yeah.
I think I was so done with the clumpiness that I had experienced all week with it. Every time I took it, it was like sometimes it would be smooth and fine. Other times it was just like clump city.
Yeah.
And I'm relatively sensitive to textures. And so I think I was so turned off by that.
Well, I think if you whipped it into the liquid as soon as it hit it, it was fine. But if you left it and let it kind of solidify in, absorb the liquids. That would make sense. Solidify, then it.
Yeah, because I was putting it in the liquid and then topping a bottle and shaking it.
Yeah. So
by then it had settled to the bottom and.
But I wonder if it was just the inulin powder and not the clay, if you could have used a whip.
Probably. Because we did talk about that and like wanting to use your little...
My little whippy wand.
Your little whippy wand. And then we were like, no, we can't do that because it's...
Because the clay can't touch metal.
Yeah, clay will interact with metal.
Which I was looking at something afterwards because I was like, why? What studies have they done? Like, why do they do that? And most of the things that I read were like, that's not true. That's bullshit.
Oh, that's funny.
And I was like, great.
Okay.
All right.
Because they were very adamant. Like, do not put metal in the bentonite. It will deactivate.
It won't work anymore.
Right? Well, because isn't the bentonite, it's like a binder, right? So it's supposed to help like pull heavy metals like
so
from like the walls of your intestine.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's pulling the heavy metals out of your spoon or I don't know. Yeah. I'll just follow instructions. And we can't say that we know everything, even if the research is like that's BS. Like, do we
Google
know?
Doesn't know anything.
Yeah, like how do we know for sure it's BS? Like, is there any harm in using a plastic or a glass stir? Nah.
No, we'll just do it that way.
Just do it that way.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So like my like I said, my inflammation levels I felt like went down a little bit. But no like huge like oh my god.
Right.
I felt good about what I was eating and getting that water intake and stuff. That felt really good.
I did enjoy that. And I felt like for me, I definitely have fallen recently into some, we'll say, less than stellar habits around food and eating, and just kind of gotten complacent about just kind of eating whatever sweets and treats look good, sound good in the moment. And so I think that 8 days definitely, you know, because it's like, you know, try to avoid sugar and try to avoid this and try to avoid that. Like, it definitely made me very much more conscious and aware of the choices that I was making around food.
That is one thing I did enjoy about it, was how conscious you had to be about the choices that you were making.
Yeah. So I definitely felt like, if nothing else, it was a very nice, for me, dietary reset of like, oh, actually, you know what? I really do enjoy just eating like clean and healthy, and, you know, just like meat and vegetables and like a little bit of starch here and there. And I feel better when I do. Like, oh, why is your concentration better? Because I stopped eating crap. Like, I stopped eating junk and sugar. That's why my concentration's better.
Yeah.
So there was that. And I don't think I was like snacking in my car on the way home quite as much as I've like gotten in the habit of grabbing a packet or 3 of gummy bears to eat on my way home. All of that. I think overall, good experience. Would do it again.
Yeah, me too.
I think
It was good.
It was
I
good.
think we covered everything.
I think we did.
We did. People, were done talking. Wait, no, we're not.
Sign off. How do we want to sign off today?
How do we want to sign off? Do we want to do the, if you like what you're hearing
and you want to hear more,
then you should tune in again next time.
Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend if you're enjoying the experience. We'll see you next time. We love you.
Oh, we did such a good job that time.
We did.